Everything you've watched in Stranger Things has already happened. Mike watching 11 disappear? He's seen it before. Will being taken into the Upside Down? It's happened dozens of times. Every death, every tearful goodbye, every impossible victory. They're all just echoes of cycles that came before. The kids don't remember, but the evidence is everywhere, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Today I'm going to prove that Hawkins is trapped in a time loop, that November 6, 1983 keeps resetting over and over, and that the final season might be the cycle where someone finally remembers. Welcome back. Subscribe if you're ready to have your mind broken. Let's begin. The frozen Upside Down. Here's the fact that breaks everything. The Upside Down is frozen on November 6, 1983. Nancy discovers this in season 4. Her diary in the Upside Down only has entries up to that exact date, nothing after. The Upside Down isn't just stuck in the past, it's locked on a specific moment. Years pass in our world. The kids grow up. But that dimension? Still November 6, 1983. Forever. November 6, 1983 is the reset point. It's where the loop begins every single time. And it gets worse. Look at Vecna's weapon of choice. A grandfather clock, not a digital watch, not a timer. A clock with hands that go in circles. 12 becomes 1. 1 becomes 12. Round and round and round. The Duffer Brothers aren't being subtle. They're showing us that time in Hawkins is circular, not linear. The clock comes from the Creel house in 1959, where Henry first developed his powers. That's when time fractured. But the loop doesn't reset to 1959. It resets to 1983. To the day Will disappeared. To the day 11 opened the first gate. Henry broke time in 1959, but the break didn't activate until Will's disappearance locked it into place. Will is the anchor. His fate determines everything. The pattern that repeats. Now watch what happens when you compare Season 1 to Season 5. This is where it gets terrifying. Season 1, Will is taken by Vecna. Vecna binds him with vines, forces a tube down his throat, keeps him barely alive in the Upside Down. Joyce hangs Christmas lights everywhere, desperately trying to communicate across dimensions. 11 uses psychic powers to locate Will in the void. The party searches frantically for their friend. Season 5, Holly Wheeler is taken by Vecna. When Will has his vision, he sees Holly in the exact same state. Bound to vines, tube down her throat, kept barely alive. Psychic powers are used again to locate the victim. The party searches frantically again. Same villain, same method, same victim condition, same rescue structure. This isn't homage. This isn't the Duffer Brothers reusing ideas. This is the loop revealing itself. We're watching the same cycle play out with minor variations. Different victim, same fate. Will in cycle 1. Holly in this cycle. How many cycles have there been? How many children has Vecna taken this way before? And here's the part that should make your blood run cold. In the newest flashback, we finally see what Vecna did to Will. November 12, 1983, 6 days after his disappearance. Vecna performs a ritual, forcing tentacles down Will's throat, creating the first human-monster hybrid. 6 days after the reset point, every single cycle. This ritual has happened over and over and over. Will has been tortured by Vecna not once, but potentially hundreds of times. He just doesn't remember. But there's more. Every season ends the same way. Mike and 11 are separated. Season 1, Elle disappears after killing the Demogorgon. Season 3, the Byers move away with 11. Season 4, they're separated as Hawkins splits apart. Season 5, 11 is trapped in the Upside Down while Mike is in the real world. 5 cycles. 5 separations. The loop won't let them stay together. Their separation is part of the structure. The loop ends with them apart, then resets. Over and over. They're caught in an eternal tragedy, destined to lose each other every single time. The deaths that don't stick. Here's where the theory becomes undeniable. People keep dying and coming back. Hopper dies in a massive explosion in Season 3. The whole town mourns. Joyce gives a tearful eulogy. And then Season 4. Surprise! He's alive in Russia. The show explains it away, but thematically, that's a death that got undone. Max literally dies in Season 4. Her heart stops. Lucas is sobbing over her body. She's clinically dead. And then 11 uses her powers to restart her heart. Max comes back from death. 11 disintegrates at the end of Season 1. Everyone thinks she's dead, but she's been alive the whole time. 3 major characters, 3 deaths, 3 resurrections. Death isn't permanent in Hawkins because the loop resets to save them. What if every fake death is actually a real death from a previous cycle that got erased when time reset to November 6, 1983? The loop exists to prevent permanent death. Every time someone important dies, someone the universe needs, time automatically resets and gives them another chance. They're starting to remember. Here's the truly disturbing part. The characters are starting to show signs of loop memory bleeding through. Will's tunnel drawings, Will draws a perfect map of tunnels he's never seen. He calls them now memories, visions he can't explain. But what if they're not visions? What if they're actual memories from the last cycle? Will has been in those tunnels before. He just doesn't consciously remember. 11's recognition. When Elle sees the Mind Flayer for the first time, watch her face. It's not surprise, it's recognition. Like seeing an old enemy. She's faced it before in previous cycles. Dustin's instant trust. Dustin calls 11 their friend immediately, before they've bonded, before they've spent real time together. He just knows. On a subconscious level, he recognizes her. They've been friends before, across multiple loops. Murray's conspiracy board. Murray appears with a board full of classified information he shouldn't have. Government experiments, Russian operations, supernatural events, and he's right about everything. How? He's not guessing. He's subconsciously reconstructing events that already happened in past cycles. His paranoia is actually loop memory. Hopper's prophetic letter. Feelings are going to change even more. That's the good stuff, and you're going to miss it. He writes this before he dies. How did he know? Part of him remembered. He died before in previous loops. He knew it was coming. But here's the most shocking development. Will is evolving beyond simple memory fragments. He can now see through multiple perspectives simultaneously. He sees through Holly's eyes, through the Demogorgon's eyes, through Vecna's victim's eyes, all at once. Will isn't just seeing through space anymore. He's seeing through time. Those multiple viewpoints aren't all happening in the same moment. They're the same event from different loop cycles, and Will's expanding powers let him perceive them overlapping. And then comes the moment that changes everything. Will kills 3 Demogorgons in 3 different locations at the exact same instant. One attacking Mike at the Max Z, one attacking Robin at the radio station, one attacking Lucas in the tunnels. 3 places, 1 moment, 1 action. How is that physically possible? Will didn't affect 3 different locations. He affected 3 different timelines. Those were the same moment from 3 different loop cycles, and Will's powers collapsed them into one. He's not just psychic anymore. He's manipulating the loop structure itself. Will is becoming aware, and that awareness might be what finally breaks the cycle. Why the loop exists. So why does it exist? 3 theories. Theory 1, the cave where time broke. In 1959, young Henry Creel entered a cave in Nevada. Inside, he found stolen equipment from a government experiment. It activated. He was pulled into Dimension X. When he came back, he had powers, but more than that, he broke time. That cave is the fracture point. And here's the thing, Max has found that same cave in Vecna's mindscape. It's the one place he refuses to enter. He's terrified of it. That cave holds the key to breaking the loop. Someone has to go back there, to the origin point, and repair what was broken. Theory 2, Will is the loop. Will disappeared on November 6, 1983, the reset point. The Upside Down is frozen on that exact date. Will has powers that let him perceive across timelines. Will is the loop mechanism. Every time everyone dies or the world ends, Will's powers automatically reset time to save them. He's been doing it unconsciously, over and over, desperately trying to find a timeline where everyone survives, but he doesn't remember, so he makes the same choices each time. Theory 3, 11 can't let go. What if the loop is 11's creation? What if her powers are so vast she can bend time itself? Every time someone she loves dies, her powers instinctively reset everything to November 6, 1983. She's been trying again and again to save everyone. But because she doesn't remember previous cycles, she's trapped in an endless attempt to find the perfect timeline where no one has to die. How it breaks. There are 3 ways this loop could finally break. Breaking through memory. Will is becoming more aware every season. His powers expand. His perception widens. He's building toward a moment where he remembers everything, where he sees across all the cycles and understands what's been happening. That moment of full awareness could shatter the loop entirely. The cave confrontation. Max found the cave in Vecna's mindscape. Holly has been led there. Will can see it through his visions. The final battle happens there, at the origin point where time first broke. Forcing Vecna to enter that cave, to confront the moment he was transformed, might collapse the entire temporal structure. Accepting permanent loss. Maybe the loop exists because someone can't accept death. Every time someone dies, time resets to undo it. Breaking the loop might require accepting that this time, death is final. No reset, no do-over. This is the last cycle, and whatever happens, happens. The loop exists because loss is unbearable. It ends when loss is accepted. Shocking revelation. But here's what nobody's talking about. Here's the detail that changes everything. Joyce and Hopper went to school with Henry Creel. In 1959, they were in the same play together. They investigated the animal killings he committed. They're the reason Victor Creel was blamed for the murders. Joyce and Hopper have been connected to this since before the loop even started. They were there at the beginning in 1959. They made choices that led to Henry becoming Vecna. And now, they're trapped in a loop that keeps bringing them back to fix what they unknowingly helped break. What if the loop won't end until Joyce and Hopper make a different choice than they made in 1959? What if they need to go back, somehow, and change the original timeline? What if breaking the loop requires fixing not just 1983, but 1959? Conclusion: the Upside Down is frozen on November 6, 1983. Vecna uses a circular clock. Will is taken in Season 1 and Holly is taken in Season 5. The same way, the same fate. Mike and 11 are separated every single season. Deaths get undone. Characters show impossible knowledge. Will can affect 3 timelines at once. The evidence is overwhelming. Hawkins is stuck in a time loop. The kids have lived through this before. They just don't remember. But Will is starting to. And that changes everything. Here's the question nobody wants to face. What if the loop can't be broken from inside? What if someone needs to remember everything from all the previous cycles to find the solution? What if the only way out is for one person to experience every loop, retain every memory, and carry the unbearable weight of watching everyone they love die over and over until they finally figure out how to save them? What if that person is Will? What if he's been the key all along, and the only way to save Hawkins is for Will to remember every single cycle he's suffered through? And what if, in remembering, he realizes the terrible truth, that the loop can only be broken if he sacrifices himself permanently, removing the anchor that's been holding time in place since 1983? That's the real question. And we're about to find out the answer. What do you think? Is the loop real? Can it be broken? And what would you sacrifice to save the people you love? Drop your theories below. If this theory destroyed you, hit that like button and subscribe, because if time is a circle, we're going to have this conversation again and again and again. Thanks for watching. See you in the next cycle.